What's going on, Nerd Nation? It's your friendly neighborhood Nerd King, Mac Taylor, here to talk to you about another season of Survivor on Strategic Gaming, the place where we talk about, all sorts of these kind of reality game shows. And if you hear any background noise, I am doing laundry. So, again, any background noise, I am doing laundry. So, also, I have 3 dogs. All of that fun facts about me aside, we are going to be talking about Survivor Thailand, and we have got our work cut out for us with this one because Survivor Thailand, let's see, right now, in my whole rewatch of Survivor, I am on season 12 right now. Thailand is my least favorite so far. It's a doozy. It's gonna be hard to get through this one. Yeah, just not great. We're gonna talk about exactly why I'm not a fan of Survivor Thailand, and I'm not saying, it's Survivor. I do get some fun stuff from this season. But, just of the other seasons, especially with the couple that follow this season, this was really a low point in Survivor for me. And my roommate is rewatching Survivor. Well, he's watching all of Survivor. I'm rewatching. He almost rage quit with Thailand. He was very over Thailand. So let's just get right into it. 16 new people are here in Thailand, and the 2 oldest people, so Jake and Jan, they're going to be team captains. So it's the first time the tribes weren't just already assigned when they got there. And Jake will have the Suk Jai tribe. Jan will have Choigon. And they have to pick whether they want sunrise or sunset. One camp has easier access to water. The other camp already has a shelter. Jake picks the easier access to water, which was a questionable choice, off the top of your head. So Jan gets the shelter camp. And there's speculation of whether it could be men versus women. Which it's like, oh, we got you. It's not men versus women. Definitely psyching up for the Amazon here. So Jan and Jake, they have this kind of schoolyard pick. So Jan picks Big Ted first. And you know what? Probably a good decision. Big Ted seems like a pretty physically fit guy. Good to have. Jake picks Stephanie Dill. That decision is going to come back to haunt him. Jan then picks Kelly. So Jan then picks Helen. Jake picks Ken. Why Ken was not picked first, questionable. But hey, Ken Stafford, great choice by Jake. Jan picks John Raymond, the pastor. Jake picks Penny. Jan picks Gandia, Brian, Tanya, and Clay, while Jake gets Jed, Sheehan, Rababa, so Rob with 2 B's, and Aaron. Jake has this kind of tribe of younger, physically fit people, while Jan kind of has a lot of the older contestants. And John Raymond, right off the bat, he's like, I want leadership. He wants to be John Carroll. Gotta have that John leadership role, So the boats they're taking off in their boats, and Sukjai, I guess in their excitement, is paddling the boat wrong. Like the boat's turned wrong. And it's an interesting start, but it's okay. They're happy. They're on Survivor. Yes, Survivor. And Sukchai, kind of a little disorganized. Rababa's upset because they're not building shelter, and he wants shelter. And then we get Brian Heidick's first kind of talk about the game, where he says, hey, this is a business trip. I'm just here to get to the end of this game, get $1 million, get out. I'm not here for an experience or a personal connection. I am here for the win. So Choigon, their shelter they have is a cave. And, they have, a shelter already built. So, they're one of their big check marks for the first day in Survivor is done. But there are, bats and things in the cave. It's not the most pleasant, but it's a cave. It's there. You can sleep in it. It's nice. You don't have to spend forever building a shelter. And then over at the Sukchai camp, Stephanie gets naked, goes skinny dipping at night in Thailand. And some of them start building the shelter at night. And it's like, whoa, guys. Building a shelter at night, not the best idea. You probably should have done it during the day. Because a lot harder to see what you're doing at nighttime. And Tanya and Choigon, she's getting kind of dehydrated and kind of sick, and you're not really feeling the best. And so Choigon, their water is like a mile out. So they got to take a boat to go get their water. And John Raymond's like climbing trees, like jumping over all this stuff and running ahead, and everyone's just really annoyed. So he's trying to like be all like go lucky, like I'm gonna lead you guys, and they're like, you're really annoying, and that's not great, because it's kind of like the Peter Harkey thing last season. Don't be annoying. Take it easy, be cool. Kind of, Diane in Africa is another example of just like, or Deb in Australia. Calm down, take it easy. Like Deb trying to do all these things early. Just Survivor's 39 days. It's day 2 at this point. Chill. And John Raymond has no intentions on chilling with Peter Harkey and Sean Rector. And so they find the water, and John's like, I'm gonna go make a joke, and he says, he goes this little like muddy stream, and he's like, this is our water, and Gandhi's like, what? Really? No, this is terrible. And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. Our water's over there. It's clean. And she's like, why would you make a joke like that? That's so stupid. And like, I get the humor in it, but when it comes to like this kind of situation, and it's so early, you might not want to make a joke like that, especially when you don't know how these people react to these kind of situations. Again, too much too fast, John. Slow it down. And back at Sukchai, everyone's building the shelter, except Jed. He just wants to lounge, take it easy, get a tan, and everyone's like, hey, you need to build. And this, really, we've had 4 seasons of common sense here. Which leads me to think either Jed has never seen Survivor before, or he just never thought about this aspect of it. You need to contribute. You need to, like, if your whole tribe is building a shelter, build a shelter with them. Like, don't miss out on socialization, and also just don't be a nuisance, because, everyone's, like, if you go to tribal council first, everyone's looking for an excuse for that first vote, generally speaking. Especially in early Survivor. It's kind of hard to be like, well, who do we justify voting out first? How do we draw first blood? And if you're just being lazy and a piece of shit, not contributing, then that's an easy way to say, hey, we'll just vote him out. He doesn't deserve to be here. And then Rob and Shan were, because Rob's like, Shan, your hands, let me see your hands. Your hands aren't even calloused like mine. My hands are calloused from all the chopping. Shan. I'm going to be talking a lot about Rob and Shan here in this early part. Because, oh boy, Rob has a temper he cannot control. And Shan, thinks she's capable, like, thinks she's so smart. And her game doesn't show it. And Jake, with all this tension building in his tribe, he's like, whoa, hey, guys, settle down. Jake's kind of like the father figure to this tribe. He's the oldest, and he's, was kind of anointed the leader, whereas Jan kind of immediately dropped that once they got back to camp for Choigon. But the problem, I think, with having the younger tribe is that these tiffs are more likely to happen. And Rob, he's very confident going into the first challenge. Like, we're going to dominate. They had this rope maze immunity. You have to, go in the water, get puzzle pieces and all that stuff. Sukjai, Jake, the youngsters, win immunity. Sending Choigon to tribal council. And there's talks immediately, Tanya's kind of hurt, Gandhia's kind of annoying. Let's take out one of them. Tanya, she's like, I would rather get John out. He is, he's a lot. And by a vote of 6-1 to 1, John Raymond voted out. Again, played way too hard, way too fast. If he'd have just slowed his roll, he probably makes good ways to this game. So I'm sorry, Pastor John. First one out of Thailand. And we pick up in episode 2 with Clay's snoring getting to people. And Helen goes to get water with Jan, but doesn't take the map. And they get lost. And Helen is stuck with Jan, who is kind of just lounging and kind of letting Helen do whatever. And Helen's like, if I had a gun, I'd have shot her, then shot me. This is why I don't carry a gun. It's a very funny line from Helen, and I agree. This is why I don't carry a gun either, for those reasons. Meanwhile, back at Sukjai, Jed and Stephanie, they're like, let's do food and water. And the rest of the tribe's like, no, we want to build a shelter. And again, if the rest of your tribe says shelter, don't fight it. Just go with it. Because, not eating for a couple of hours, better than getting voted out next. Sheehan, feels the tension between everybody. And Rob with two B's. I will say Rob. Him, Jed, and Stephanie, they're kind of now together all the time, separating themselves from everybody else. And they're sleeping outside in the rain, which is a bad idea. And Jed ends up sleeping underneath the shelter because he didn't help build it, so he wasn't going to sleep in it, but he slept under it. Again, isolating yourself like this now gives them 3 easy votes. And Stephanie, surprise, surprise, has now got sick from all the rain. Who could have saw that one coming? You should totally stay out in the rain all the time. Your body is totally okay with that. Stupid. It was a completely stupid move on Stephanie's part. And Helen, her anniversary is coming up, so they make this flower crown for her. It's just a touching moment, since she didn't get to spend her anniversary with her husband, they did something nice for her. And they have this the blindfold challenge reward for lantern, fishing gear, that kind of stuff. Sukjai continues the winning streak. And Tanya on Choigon still in very bad shape. Still not feeling well. But they do find squids on the beach. But Helen's like, this place is miserable. I'm miserable. Kind of becomes a bit of a downer here in this episode. Then they do a floating puzzle immunity. Sukjai wins again. So Helen, she's upset that she's out in the element. She's on a losing tribe. And they gotta vote somebody off. By a vote of 5-2, Tanya Vance, Miss Sickness gone, because of course she's falling apart. You gotta vote out the dead people. Can't keep around the people that aren't gonna be able to do you much good. And then we get to something which is super uncomfortable to talk about. And I'm going to try to get through it, give my brief thoughts, and then roll right past it, because this is a big moment in the season. This is probably what the season gets remembered for. But it's really not much of a game thing, but I will discuss it here. Ted and Gandia, kind of buddy. Gandia says Ted reminds her of her husband, and I guess they were sleeping near each other in the cave, and I guess he grinded on her in the middle of the night or something, and so she goes up and she's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I felt super uncomfortable with this, blah blah blah." And he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I was, asleep, and I'm only used to sleeping next to my wife, and I assumed you were her." And, she says, "Oh, okay, well, I just want to let you know also, I was taken advantage of, and, that kind of thing just really, I'm uncomfortable." And Ted's like, "I'm so sorry. I will never do that again. Like, you don't have to worry about it." And at this point, there are faults on both sides. Like, should Gandhi have been sleeping next to Ted? No. Should Ted have been sleeping next to Gandhi? No. Both of them made that mistake. But Ted definitely, there's no excuse. You shouldn't have done that. Very bad. But at the time, things seem, okay. Then they play a reward challenge for Red Berets to come in and help their camp life. It's like you have to go and get these flags or something, and there's this black zone you could attack people in, called the attack zone. So your feet have to be in the attack zone to throw somebody off of it. And things are going good. Sukjai's taking the lead. And at first, Jeff goes, "Hey, Ken, your foot's out of the attack zone." And he's like, "Oh, man." So Ken's out, and they get a point. Choigon gets a point. Then it's, "Stephanie, you were not in the attack zone. You were out. Now they get a point." Then Jed, comes out of the water and, swipes Helen's legs. He's like, "Jed, you're nowhere near the attack zone, and you're in the water. You're out." Choigon gets a point. Jeff is getting more and more frustrated that these people just aren't listening. And then the best one is Rababa, who just starts choking Clay. And Clay's like, "Ah!" And Jeff's like, "No, Rob. First, you're choking him. Second of all, you're not in the attack zone." It is just a glorious, glorious moment. Jeff, I think it's the first time Jeff is legitimately just over people's inability to listen. So Choigon wins. Reward. And Rob Bubba at his camp, he's going off about "Oh my god, They suck. We what beat us today? A bunch of rules. We lost to a bunch of rules, man. And Clay, he's a dumb hick, and I'd spit in his face, and it's like, whoa, dude. First of all, you probably shouldn't say this for your tribe, because that kind of shows you're a dickhole, and that people don't want to keep a dickhole around. Second of all, take it down a notch. It's just a challenge, man. Just a challenge. So yeah, the Red Berets, they're showing them what they can eat, how to build things. Like, they're just, it's really cool to see these people living off their land. And Gandia decides she wants to flip on Ted. So she goes, to Helen. Tells her the story about Ted, but leaves out the part where Ted apologizes. Then Helen goes to Brian. Tells him the story. And Brian goes to Ted. Ted then says nothing happened, denies everything. So then Brian says, cool. So then Brian goes back to Helen. Says what Ted said. Helen goes to Gandia, saying Ted denied everything, not knowing that the apology was left out. And then boom, Ted versus Gandia. Things are getting nasty. She explodes. She's throwing things. And the Red Berets are like, whoa, okay, so this is what you eat. You eat this root. And then at Sukchai, Rababa and Jed put the fishing net out in the water, but left it. They took a nap, and they lose the fishing net. So then Jake and Ken are like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing out there? You're being dumb. And then Ted holds a meeting, He's like, listen, I just want to say this is what happened. And Gandhi's like, oh, you didn't do this? And Ted's like, I'm not even attracted to you. Which is like, whoa, okay, Ted. Then he's like, I love my wife 150 to 200%. It's like, what? Why is it that specific? And then, man, it is a nasty situation, and really ultimately could have been avoided if they just didn't sleep next to each other. Come on, guys. Ted should have been sleeping next to Brian. And then they do this, the transfer, this little temple thing. Kind of immunity challenge. Joy-Con wins their first immunity. And Rababa and Jed, they're like, we want Sheehan out of here. She's a smart ass, and we don't like her. Ken wants to vote Jed out because he's very lazy and just kind of useless. So by a vote of 5-3, Jed voted out of the game, and the downfall, because with Tanya, she was just sick. That was just what happened. I didn't know anything about Tanya. It's all Jed's game. He's very lazy. He's very stupid. And because of that, that's why he was voted out. This was a no-brainer for Sukchai, and Jed played a terrible game. So the next episode, Rababa, shocked by the vote. Him and Stephanie are mad. They're on the outs. And they just decide to just not try to mend any fences and just be all hateful about it. Because, we all know that works. Sheehan, she's like, wow, Steph's attitude's terrible. I hate Penny. I hate my tribe. They're so stupid. I'm so smart. Sorry if I have a little bit of an attitude with talking about it, but it really is the same shtick with some of these people. Gandia and Ted, still very tense. And Clay, he's like, we gotta get Gandia out of here. She's causing trouble, which really, you probably want to get both of them out of there just to make it better. You can't completely. Gandia exploded, did try to use it against Ted, but Ted was also just as wrong as Gandia in the situation. Helen and Gandia They want to take out Ted. They want to get the girls together, vote out Ted. And they get this challenge that they carry this big dummy, where Clay goes, there's a dummy over here, and it's like as big as Clay, because Clay's so short. Ted's like, no, there isn't. He's like, yeah, it is, as big as your ass. God, I love it. That is a funny moment. So, like, they have to decorate these dummies, and Stephanie pretty much kind of does it, takes it over, and Shan's like, oh, well, Stephanie did this on her own. Well, I think Stephanie's the better artist, and just let her have fun with it. And the reward is bananas, a big thing of bananas. And some, aren't ripe yet, so you'll continue to have bananas. Sukjai wins. They're starting to get their leverage back. And meanwhile, back at Choigon, it really is boys versus girls. Clay, Ted, and Brian are together. Jan, Helen, and Gandhi are together. And if they go to vote, it's going to be a tie. Things are not going to be bueno. Sukjai also gets a chicken. And Jake likes to take the chicken and break their necks with his bare hands. Jake is fucking awesome. And then Brian then says some pretty chauvinistic comments about women. And the thing about Brian Heidick, and I will say it now, and I'll probably say it about 10 more times throughout this season. Brian Heidick is a sleazy, dirty, chauvinistic, kind of a gross human being. But he is a good Survivor player. He is really a good Survivor player. Because of the sleaziness, the game comes a little easier to him. He's good at the game. Did kind of invent the whole Iceman mentality of playing this game. But he is a sleazeball. So, that is said now. I will probably say it again later. Then they have a puzzle immunity where Sukjai wins. Gandia wants Clay out. Which I don't know why it changed from Ted to Clay. But now they're targeting Clay. And then the votes come out. 4-2. Gandia is gone. And there's a point of the vote where one of the votes says, Little Miss Denver Diva. And Jeff's like, for the first time in Survivor history, there's a vote, and I don't know who it's for. Whose vote is this? Clay says, mine. It's for Gandia. And again, you can tell Jeff does not like this cast. He's like, all right, from now on, just write the person's name down. Enough with the nicknames. Because like writing G, or like if someone's name's like Jedediah, and you say Jed or Jed, like that's okay. But like when you just put that, how the hell is he supposed to know who that is? That was a bad call by Clay there. But yeah, 4-2, Gandia gone. If her and Ted weren't in this situation, maybe she does better, but she would probably gonna get targeted anyway. But Gandia gone. Don't really see any other good scenarios for her if she ever played again. I think this was the end of the Survivor road for Gandia. And with that, that takes phase 1 to a close. It's the first 4 people voted out. Stay tuned for phase 2 when we talk about the 5th through 8th people voted out of Survivor Thailand. My name is Mac Taylor. Good night, Nerd Nation.